Your Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, my Lord the Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable Attorney General, my Lord the Principal Judge, Justices and Judges of our Courts of Judicature, Lady Judges from the Judiciary Service of Ghana, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors, the Honorable Members of Parliament in attendance, the Inspector General of Government, the Chairpersons of Constitutional Commissions, members of the Judicial Service Commission, members of the Judiciary Council, the heads of Administration of Justice Program institutions, partners, development partners of the Judiciary of Uganda, the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary and other permanent secretaries in attendance today, Your Worship the Chief Registrar, Your Worships and the Registrars, our esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, we are greatly honored yet again because you've religiously adhered to being in attendance in most of our judiciary functions, the annual Judges Conference, the New Law Year, the Benedicto Kiwanuka Commemoration Day. Your Excellency, we do not take this lightly. This is evidence of the importance you attach to the judiciary, manifestation of your appreciation, understanding of the critical role that the judiciary in any country, but the one of Uganda, does play and can play in the development, stability, and achievements of the aspirations of the people of Uganda. Your Excellency, we are honored today. Our keynote speaker is the Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa, our sister country, Honorable Justice Raymond Zondo, who has come with a team from South Africa. Unfortunately, he's not with us here now. He will be delivering the keynote address in this year's annual Judges Conference. We applaud him for accepting to come and present the keynote address. This evidence of our South-South cooperation. Allow me also to welcome a team from the Judiciary of Ghana, led by Honorable Justice Angelina Mensah Homia and Honorable Justice Afia Serwa Asare Botwe. If my pronunciation is wrong, the intention is very good. This again, Your Excellency, is under the South-South cooperation. Ghana hosted us to understudy how they are performing in the area of self-assessment. And a team from the Ugandan judiciary, led by the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, spent a week, and we extended the invitation to the Ghana judiciary to come and share views, share their experience with the Ugandan judges, which is the reason they are here. I welcome all of you, distinguished guests, friends, partners, and facilitators. We appreciate the fact that you respond to our invitation on such an important occasion as a forum where the judicial officers of the upper bench of Uganda meet once a year to confer together, to share experience, to audit our performance in the immediate previous year, and to chart the way forward, to identify the challenges and impediments we've gone through, and then chart the way forward for this calendar year. So your presence here means everything to us. The theme of this year's conference, Your Excellency, is the Judiciary Transformation Agenda, Enhance Access to Justice. The need to transform the judiciary of Uganda, Your Excellency, is dictated by the fact that we live in a world that is fast changing. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution. It is possible before I leave this seat of Chief Justice of Uganda, we might be in the fifth industrial revolution. That requires new thinking, not only in the judiciary, not only in government, but in the way we do things. The world is fast moving, and we must think outside the box. We must keep pace. We must be abreast of these developments. So the Judiciary Transformation Agenda is a response by the administration which I'm privileged to head, that we cannot be left behind. We must move along the same pace and in sync. Our agenda, Your Excellency, which, as I said, is geared towards enhancing access to justice services across Uganda, is an undertaking which is guided by the Judiciary Strategic Plan 5, which runs from 2020 to 2025. The key areas we've resolved to pursue are these 5 key areas: recruitment and deployment of more judicial and non-judicial officers, and providing them with modern and adequate tools of work. The basic is in numbers. We have a fast rising population. The number of judicial officers serving the people of Uganda must accordingly also rise. Otherwise, will never be felt. The people who serve, who seek justice, the people for whom we hold these offices, will remain wallowing, suffering, because we cannot extend the justice they deserve. The establishment of more courts across the country in order to eliminate case backlog and to bring justice services nearest to the people. Strengthening the Judicial Training Institute to offer up-to-date capacity building and refresher training to the judicial and non-judicial staff. This is an area where we've not been performing either very well. but the judiciary budget permitting. And in all these things, Your Excellency, for us to achieve them, there must be corresponding budgetary provisions. An American presidential candidate once said the issue for the Americans was not foreign affairs. He was referring to the war in Iraq. He just said, it is the economy, stupid. He served 2 terms on the strength of the economy, stupid. And he focused on the economy. Your Excellency, permit me to borrow a huge leap from this and say, for the judiciary aspirations, these 5 targets, for us to achieve these 5 targets, it is the budget, stupid. Once we have the requisite budgetary provision, we can and we will make a difference in rendering justice in this country. I've always said, and I reiterate here today, it is possible, it is not beyond our means. If we focus, if we put our priorities right, the judiciary of Uganda can make tremendous contribution to the socio-economic development of this country. Today, as I speak, we have locked up in the commercial division of the High Court, just the commercial division, sitting in Kampala, 11 trillion shillings. A few years ago, it was 4 trillion. It's galloping now. It's come to 11 trillion. Your Excellency, if the judiciary budgetary provision could permit me to recruit 20 High Court judges annually, in the midterm, we would reduce this elephant in the room to 0. But when we recruit 10 judges of the High Court, it's like trying to empty the waters in the Lake Victoria using a mug. You scoop the water using a mug, you pour it away. Your Excellency, until thy kingdom come, it will never happen. The water in Lake Victoria will remain the same. So it is with backlog. And yet we can make a difference. And we are not being unreasonable in this. We understand that we make these demands against competing demands, competing national demands. But we think, at least you've come out to show that you understand the role of the judiciary. We think that stops with you. We've spoken, our voice is hoarse. We've repeated the same thing over and over again. We think there is need for a new dispensation. We think there is a need for a paradigm shift. The judicial officers whom I am privileged to be the chief officer among them, what I always say, first among equals, are one of the most hard-working people in this country. Your Excellency, one day, if you have time, just take a stroll on a Saturday and on a Sunday. Go to these divisions. You will almost certainly find a handful of judicial officers at their desk. They're not playing golf. They're not going to their farms. They'll be writing judgments and ruling. They'll be preparing for Monday, for the coming week. Not every public institution in this country does this. So my plea, the plea from the judiciary of Uganda, is that please enable us, strengthen our hand, then put us to task. Together we can set our target, and then we can be audited, we can be challenged, we can be meaningfully criticized, and that's how it should be. We intend to strengthen the Judicial Training Institute. At law school, we were taught to know the law and also to know where to get the law if confronted with a legal issue. That's what law school does. Law school does not teach us how to be judicial officers. Hence, the need to have a robust induction upon appointment as a judicial officer at whatever level. There must be a robust induction. How you can apply the law, you know, how you can apply the knowledge you have where to get the law to judicial function. We used to have training for 5 days, which was in effect 2 days. If you take the first day as the day for knowing one another, or the way you say, oh, I've not seen you since 10 years we were in UCU or Makerere University. The second day, now you begin to understand the training. The third day, you are in grips with the training. The fourth day, you are concluding. Friday, you are going back home. We've started a process where now these trainings take 2 weeks. But in our budget proposal for this year, this coming financial year, we intend to cover trainings where training is a minimum of 1 month, so that these judicial officers go to their station with a meaningful knowledge of what judicial work is. So much of the complaints our people, Your Excellency, complained about is partly because we deploy people who learn through trial and error. They know the law. They know where to get the law. But a couple of things are lacking, and these are things we can cure. The other one is the reinforcement of the Inspectorate of Courts. We intend to decentralize the Inspectorate of Courts. We intend to make chief magistrates who will be in charge of districts strong inspectors of all the grade 1 magistrates under their care. We intend to make resident judges who are in circuits, these are courts outside Kampala, to be strong inspectors, supervisors, to carry out oversight function with respect of all judicial and non-judicial officers in their area, in their circuit. We intend, alongside this, to have regional inspectorates where their purpose is to address all issues, to nip problems at the bud. Again, as I said, I'm speaking about the budget. I'm speaking about the capacity to do all these things. We want a judiciary where every judicial officers feel somebody breathing on their neck from behind in the name of inspectorate. I've just appointed a new Chief Inspector of Courts, Honorable Justice Stephen Musota, who is here, following the unfortunate demise of Honorable Justice Awere Opio, was then the Chief Inspector of Courts. Your Excellency, my choice of Justice Musota was not accidental. He's one of those rare judicial officers who has begun from the trenches. Began as a magistrate grade 1, climbed through the ranks to the highest court in this land. I believe he understands the problems of being a grade 1 magistrate, the problem of being a chief magistrate, the problem of being a high court judge, the problem of being a registrar, because he was once a registrar, the problem of being a court of appeal justice. And now he will quick understand the problem we have in the Supreme Court. Properly facilitated, his inspectorate can turn the course of things. We'll have a judiciary we can pride ourselves about. The other one, the fifth item on our agenda which is response to the issue of the fourth industrial revolution. Innovations, simplifying court processes by enhancing the use of ICT in the management and delivery of justice. There is no way we can remain where the judge was both a judicial officer, hearing a case, studying a witness, understanding the demeanor of a witness, wanting to capture every word the witness has said, but also being the stenographer in his or her court, because you have to write in long shorthands. It is innovations like this which expedite court process, have a record which is complete, permits the judicial officer to understand the witnesses, to follow without disruption, without deviation, what is happening in the court. So we must, as we've started, invest heavily in ICT. There's no alternative. There's no maybe. There's no suppose. Your Excellency, I'm glad to report to you the Judicial Service Commission has already commenced the process of recruiting more judicial officers. 2 for the Court of Appeal, 11 judges of the High Court, 6 registrars, 14 deputy registrars, 8 assistant registrars, 13 chief magistrates, and 71 magistrates grade 1. Your Excellency, my plea to you, when the process with or by the Judicial Service Commission is completed, if you could, at your level, also expedite the completion of the process. We need these judicial officers yesterday. If it can be expedited, we receive them. And we continue in boosting the performance of the judiciary of Uganda. I'm glad to report to you, following the near doubling of the judiciary budget in the 2021-22 financial year, we made tremendous improvement in the recruitment of judicial officers with sterling results. In 2021, and I'm just going to cite this presentation of mine, you can read it later, Your Excellency. In 2021, courts headed by the Chief Magistrate had 89,000 cases completed. In 2022, following the budgetary increment, it came to 140,000 cases completed in one calendar year. That speaks volumes about the importance of budgetary increments. The Chief Magistrate's Courts completed 50,000 cases beyond what had been completed the previous year. Added together with the magistrate grade ones, it was 80,000 cases, more than in 2021. And so on and so forth. The same applies to the High Court, the Court of Appeal. It is the Supreme Court which did not perform well. The Supreme Court, which is headed by the Chief Justice, had a dismal performance, principally for the reason, one, along the way we lost 3 justices, 2 by retirement and 1 by the hand of God. But I thank you for appointing 3 justices of the Supreme Court. And 1 in the Court of Appeal. And I want to also report to you, Your Excellency, although we've been homeless for a full year as the Supreme Court, we have a temporary abode, but we believe by Fool's Day we should be in our permanent home. Then there will be no excuse about our performance. Your Excellency, in the criminal justice process, I want to say 2 things. I want to recognize the role played by University of Pepperdine, which is represented here by Professor Danny DeWalt. Professor, if you can stand up for recognition. Has led a team. Your Excellency, these are the group of people who have now become family to the judiciary of Uganda. They introduced, developed, and made plea bargaining in Uganda a robust criminal justice process. In 5 years, they had completed 35,000 cases under plea bargain. In 5, that is an average of 7,000 per year, at a cost of 10 billion to Ugandan taxpayer. Cost of 10 billion. Ordinarily, it would have taken 35 billion to complete those 35,000 cases. So with the efforts of our partners, the University of Pepperdine, the judiciary of Uganda has saved the Ugandan taxpayer 25 billion shillings in 5 years. We've now done $2,000 more cases in the past 2 years. So we are promoting plea bargaining. We are cascading it to the magistrate's court. What I've reported, just the High Court. We're cascading it down to the magistrate's court so that we have our prison congestions eased. What congests the prison in Uganda, Your Excellency, are remand prisoners, not convicts. The moment we can expedite the hearing and completion of criminal cases, the situation will improve. And on this, Your Excellency, let me make this plea again. So much of the cases that have been completed are mostly civil. For the simple reason that most of these magistrates grade 1 cannot hear criminal cases because there are no state counsel in their areas of operation. Your Excellency, my plea is, in our pursuit to make the judiciary perform, kindly look at the recruitment of state attorneys, so that this new vehicle which you are supporting, which you provided to go to Moroto, does not run out of fuel in Bugiri, because that is what is happening in the criminal justice system. The courts are ready, the judicial officers are there, but they're handling civil cases. And yet most of those civil, especially land disputes, give rise to criminal cases, violence, and so on and so forth. So our plea is for Your Excellency as Head of State to kindly look into making the Directorate of Public Prosecution enhance in a manner that is commensurate with the enhancement of recruitment in the judiciary. Finally, I'm glad to inform you, Excellency, we opened 8 new High Court circuits following the enhancement of the judiciary budget. Moroto now has a High Court judge. The Karmajong used to come up to Mbale, then they came to Soroti. Now those good neighbors of mine have a High Court in Mbale. With the recruitment which is ongoing, the moment we are enhanced by these new recruitments, we will have a High Court in Nebi, in Apache, in Ngora, in Kamuli, in Bushenyi, in Kasese, and either in the Antonde or in Chiboga, or in both. And in the next financial year, we will expand our base more. We owe it to our people, as I've said. I ask your lordships, in addressing my brothers and sisters of the upper bench, let us all be part of this transformation agenda. This is our home, this is our task, this is our obligation. I have faith in the judicial officers of the Republic of Uganda. I have greater faith in the judicial officers of the upper bench. They're responsible, and as I've said before, they're extremely hardworking under very difficult circumstances. We have issued rules. You remember we've had conversation about bail. I have issued rules and practice directions about a number of things which you'll read from this presentation, including how the courts of law can handle the issue of bail, balancing the need to keep a suspect away from the public, but also this under the greater constitutional provision that until you've been tried under proper due process and you've been found guilty, you are presumed innocent. We believe these rules will work. It will answer this problem. And but as I said before, Your Excellency, bail should not be an issue in our criminal justice dispensation. Once the executive arm of government does its work, proper investigation, expedited investigation, the courts of law will be ready to hear these cases. And the issue of bail, which now arises because suspects or accused persons have stayed in court for 1 year, for 2 years, will not arise. Otherwise, Your Excellency, allow me to say again, we thank you. We understand how busy your schedule is, but the fact that you are here speaks volumes about where the judiciary is in your heart. Most welcome. We look forward. We would have wanted you to attend our new law year, which is on Friday, and you would have more time with us, so that it is not Chawa Achiel Keken. You'd be with us for the whole day. Chawa Achiel Keken means only 1 hour. His Excellency said he's with me for only 1 hour. I know I have breached that agreement, but this is because what I was saying here is so important, for which I know you've forgiven me before you've said it. Otherwise, Your Excellency, most welcome again, and I use this opportunity to invite you to speak to their lordships and our dear guest. Thank you so much.